Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the Master of Hobbits. Today joined by
Brett.
Evanomyces. Today, checking out some of our all-time favorite beer styles, pastry sours. No, this is another pastry sour. As you might know, it's not our favorites. Brett had a very fun little notion about it. It's almost the junk food of beer.
Like who can disagree with me? Like, comment why you would disagree.
Why is pastry sours not the junk food or smoothie
pastry
sours?
stout, like hardcore pastry stouts? Why is that not the junk food of craft beer? Like, it is, in my opinion, it is.
It's a lot about putting loads of bullshit in beer to make it less like elegant and flavorsome. Like, would you ever do this to a wine?
No, yeah, but as you said, like, this would never happen in wine.
Or spirits.
Like,
well, spirits is actually kind of happening. Yeah, people are making bacon
but
vodka,
not in
and
like craft. Like in something that's supposed to be high end, or like somebody who takes themselves seriously, regarding their product.
But I think it's also because I've talked about this before. But beer is also a bit more of a fun-filled. It's a bit of fun. Beer doesn't take itself as seriously.
Yeah.
Because
but it's also okay.
Beer is looked as a common man's drink. That's part of it too.
Yeah.
Man, we got all of this shit going before the actual review. We're ticking buttons and flicking switches.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the review. We're checking the final can of Oozlefinch beer that I got from Beer Jump. So thanks a ton to Beer Jump for this. Beer Jump sent me loads of pastry sours, and I will say Oozlefinch has been okay, but it's not been something I've loved.
And it's never look at this can. Like,
I think it's funny. It is funny artwork.
It looks like a can of the
Philadelphia cream cheese.
Exactly, Philadelphia cheese with a fucking
chicken.
Chicken.
I think so.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
Would you like their Hella Buck?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was not the best, lager in the world,
yeah.
But they are famous for these kind of beers.
Yeah.
And it looks like Philadelphia cream cheese because this is a cream cheese or a cheesecake inspired pastry smoothie sour beer, whatever. 6% of beer is called Youse Guys, and this is the orange flavored tangerine version. There's a few different ones. So this is a sour ale on 6% brewed with tangerine, cream cheese, vanilla, lactose, and other natural and artificial flavors. And as you said, when you see that and you look at this color, the first thing I can't help of thinking like For Loco or like Bacardi Breezer or like even energy drinks, like these kind of crazy.
No, but they don't even look as nasty as this.
I don't know. It almost looks like carrot puree.
Yeah, with gunks of orange.
It's thick.
Pulp
and it's real hazy. It's bright orange.
Yeah.
It's got an orange head.
But look at that head.
And the thing is, when we're done with that, like you can see all the fruit pulp on the side. Like when we're done with this glass, we'll have to clean it with soap.
Yeah.
Because we can't use it for beer afterwards.
It's kind of a balance thing because if the glass is completely clean, then it could also be worrying. So
yeah, true.
It's a balance. When it's dirty, it's also a sign of an unfiltered product or whatever.
But one of the things I think some people are annoyed when we get all old money and old guard and become the guardians of real beer, which is also beer should be fun, but there is some merit to what we're saying, I think, and I think some people agree, but it's totally perfect to not agree. Yeah. But what scares me a bit is the fact that we're going more towards people wanting this. Yeah.
The junk food of craft beer.
Instead of wanting real beer.
Yeah.
But that's why Oozlefinch also does a series called Real Beer, which is, I guess, just a bit of self-irony, is that what it's called? I don't know. But let's check this one out.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this smells like orange. Lots of orange.
But there's also like a really weird artificial kind of cream cheesy thing about it.
I'm not smelling much cream cheese. Maybe a little bit.
There is something weird artificial in there.
Of course there is.
You cannot agree.
I think I cannot agree.
That smells really like weird.
I'm just smelling loads of orange and orange peel, orange juice, orange peel, orange pith.
Yeah, I smell that too, but
there is
I'm just smelling something else.
Do you know what it reminds me of? No, it's not off because they put it in there.
Oh yeah, but
Do you know what it reminds me of?
It's not pleasant.
The filling of a mælkesnitte, a Kinder milk slice.
Yeah.
It's
With
like
an
this,
orange.
but I think that's because they use some kind of milk powders. Of course, lactose only gives sweetness, but I guess you can get some kind of cream cheese powder to use in food, and that's what they've put in.
Yeah, like, you know, when
'Cause
you
I do
just
smell
swirl it
them.
up, it smells pretty, you know, alright. You get the orange, like a fresh kind of orange thing.
Smells like.
But then this artificial cream cheesy thing.
But the
comes.
big thing, you also talk about swirling this up and whatnot. Like it just smells like a glass of orange juice initially.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't smell like a kettle sour of any sorts. But that's also the thing with these whatever things. Do we even want to call them? Do we want to call them beers anymore, man?
The McDonald's of
Now, we shouldn't call them beers. What should we call them? The McDonald's. It's like those McDonald's, man. It just smells like a McDonald's.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
But it's like, it is what John, a subscriber of the channel who's followed for a long time, many years, he says toddler drinks. It smells like a toddler drink.
Yeah, but like toddlers wouldn't even like.
I think they would.
Yeah, but,
because it's
but I feel like
fruity.
this is just for atrocious grown-ups to be.
But
honest.
you can't say it smells terrible though, and that's one of the big things. I don't think it smells really, really bad. Like eating McDonald's, I like eating McDonald's once in a while. It's not my favorite meal to get. I'd rather cook some amazing food myself. Like
It's
I
my
did today.
favorite.
Like today, I cooked amazing kalbi ribs on with rib finger meat instead of short rib on a barbecue, marinated for 18 hours. It was amazing. Like I'd rather have that than McDonald's.
There's something in this that I really don't like here.
I think it's the cream cheese.
Yeah, I think
so.
maybe it's But that I
But
don't.
it
like
doesn't
that
smell like
aroma.
beer. It smells like smoothie type thing. Cheers.
Yeah.
Let's try it. It's actually sour.
Yeah.
Ooh, it tastes like a. but the big thing, it's sour and it's orangey.
Yeah, it's not crazy sweet.
Like I really should have shared the Kings with you because I think you would have hated those even more. Because I think this is okay.
I feel like you've been nice to those beers.
The Kings?
Yeah, no, but yeah. You know,
I gave it a 50.
Okay.
Like a 50, man. A 50 for the Froger thing. Like that was atrocious. I think this is okay, but it's not something I would buy.
It has, kind of a like dare I say it, fresh orange juice character.
It does. It does have a really fresh.
But it tastes
orange
like
juice.
you've poured in like fresh or concentrated orange juice, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't taste anything like beer. This tastes like straight orange juice. Like
you
don't
the
get
aroma I don't like, but the flavor is at least a bit more fruity and fresh.
Yeah, luckily, the flavor doesn't really have much of cheesecake kind of vibes. The aroma indicates
the
that
texture of it is kind of nasty, but
that's how it is with all these. They're pulpy and thick.
But it's not thick in a pleasant. It's just this kind of like why?
It's just oily and like I don't think it's too far.
But
off
I agree,
thinking,
the acidity is nice. It has some actual, some actual fruity, fresh orange acidity.
But I can see why a lot of people are so floored by this because it's big flavor and it tastes
but it
just
doesn't
like
taste
juice.
Anything like beer at all.
No.
There's nothing.
That's why I think
Nothing.
I'd accept using these ingredients like this more in a seltzer because that is already a mixed drink.
Yeah.
Whereas this should taste like a Berliner Weisse, but it just tastes like a glass of sour orange juice.
I would have no problem walking into a bar and them telling me we've got this alcoholic orange fruit pulp cocktail with a bit of whatever vanilla in it, and they'd serve me this. Fine.
I think
But this is not beer at all, and it's not craft beer in my opinion.
No, but I think a lot of people who watch the channel really like these things.
Maybe, but I don't give it. I don't really. Give
No. But if you just try and look at their perspective, and you look at think is it tasty? Like if you just look past our iron curtain of it has to taste like beer and it has.
No, but it doesn't taste like beer.
No. But if you look past like that and you look at this as okay, I'm shooting myself in the foot there because it doesn't taste like beer.
It doesn't. Like
I was about to look past that. It's like because there's nothing beery about it. It's true. Like a traditional kettle sour will have some sort of malt character. I mean, even like lambic has some sort of malt character. This is just
like the acidity is just like orange fruit.
But the reason why I like this more than other of these kind of beers,
it's not super sweet
or mixed drinks, is because it's not super sweet. Like it has some sourness.
Yeah. I think it's that's why I'm saying it's okay if they serve me this as like an orange vanilla whatever cocktail, but it has nothing to do with beer and nothing, in my opinion, to do with craft beer. Yeah. Something that should respect.
I think this
have some at least some kind of self-respect.
I think it's something where there doesn't seem to be the same level of like with these styles. Like this is a showcase of craft beer has always been like the odd boy out. It's been the edgy cool kid, if you can say that in some ways, like doing crazy things, and I think this is almost a product of just going down that route too far. I had it in my head sounding way fancier, but it didn't come out like that.
I feel like this is just going back to being the nerd again. Like the guy who's, sitting in the back
that's not my point.
Behind wine and spirits.
No. Kind of. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like craft beer is always about pushing boundaries and this is like the whole boundary pushing, just going to such an extreme that you end up losing sight of what you're actually doing. You're making beer. You're not making alcoholic cocktails or alcoholic smoothies. And it's gotten to a point now with extremity in beer that everything has to be extreme, that people are hating on beer styles that are actual beers. So we're getting to a point now in beer that styles that are classic and great in their merit are getting shat on by people who drink craft beer because they want to drink things like this. And that's where we're starting to see some kind of issues, I think, because you're blurring the line of what people think of as beer, because some people think of this as beer and some people don't think of it as beer. So right now beer in general has a huge identity crisis. It's like it's almost like we were in craft beer's infant years a few years ago, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Way before that, I know there's brewers in the States that are much older, but in a world spectrum, it's almost right now we're in craft beer's teenage years, and craft beer is looking to find an identity. And so it's almost as if there's all these things going on, and it's a total crazy the whole mantra of having to do things your own way and doing it extreme, and it's almost like that is just taking so much focus with a lot of breweries that the only thing people look for is extreme, and the same with consumers. A lot of consumers is only extreme craziness. And most consumers, you see them drink one of the best pilsners you can get, for example, and then they rate it a 3 because they say it's just a pilsner. They'd rather drink a glass of orange juice, and that's well, is this a beer then? And that's where the problem, really originates or kind of stems from. And I don't want to sound like the old guy of beer, but I think we're gonna go through a period of time with beer I almost feel like this is formative years, if you can say it like this. This is where craft beer is figuring out what craft beer wants to be. Is craft beer going to branch off and be a thing in future years that's going to be all these crazy whatever drinks, and our breweries going to call themselves microbreweries instead because craft beer is becoming this? I think we're at a crossroads in some ways with things like this, because beer's definition has always been very distinct in terms of styles, and what craft beer's been good at is pushing those distinction and boundaries. But we're getting to a point now where I think it's a lot of times too extreme, and so extreme that it's just it's become something else than what it originally was. And that's why a lot of people
what the original idea was.
Wow, we got can you hear that we had a couple beers prior to this?
No, but it's but it is pushing the boundaries of beer, not beyond beer, but within beer.
Yeah,
and this is beyond beer. This is pushing the boundaries way beyond beer.
Yeah.
This is not within the beer spectrum, and that's kind of the problem. So I completely agree with that. Teenage crisis kind of thing.
It's almost that's
because
what
it doesn't.
Craft
It
beer
feels
is
like
right now.
craft beer doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Craft beer is everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, we're so philosophical, man.
No, but
in the review of a
it makes sense because it's all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's also because beer is something that's so rich in history, just like wine and other spirits. But it's the only spirit that's been so focused on being what it's not, too.
Yeah.
Or alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
But, it'll be very interesting to follow. And I think, I'm sure a lot of things are fads that's going to die down. I mean, you remember Brewed IPA? What was that? What was Black IPA?
Yeah.
Whatever. I'd rather drink those than other things going on.
Especially Black IPA.
But is that going to happen to smoothie sours as well? Or is that going to happen to pastry stouts? Is that going to happen to, I don't know. Like all these things, will that be fads? Or will that be the new definition of what craft beer is? Will that be over-the-top crazy extreme beer? Or what's going to happen? Are breweries going to stop calling them craft brewers and call themselves microbrewers? What are they going to do? I think it's actually, we touched on something really interesting right now. We should have done it in a podcast instead if we had one, because this could be a long discussion. So I think we're going to end it there.
Yeah.
Because this is already a way too long video about beer and beer identity.
About this.
Because it's, it's a big part of Brett and I's identity, for example, because we're passionate about beer. And I think that's the same for a lot of people. So that's why it's kind of like with music genres. Music also has had formative years. Think of metal in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be, in terms of grade, it was, in terms of style, it smells kind of like a orange cheesecake thing. It is what these pastry smoothie sour beers are supposed to be. So it'd be like in the 90s. But as a personal preference, I could never go that high because this is something I would never buy myself. But it's fun to crack, just to rant about once in a while. It's just like the more I drink this style, the more it gets cemented in stone for me. I just don't dig it. I can drink it and it's fun to drink, whatever. But it's not something I really want to waste my time on or spend my time on. Sorry. So therefore, rating wise, it is somewhat enjoyable. I don't dislike it more than the others.
Grade
80. So that's like a 3.5. It's not terrible beer. It's actually well brewed smoothie beer. But but it's just fruit puree. So
yeah, well brewed. Like what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
I have no clue. Is it just putting fruit puree in a tank?
I really want to try and see if you can make I don't know how hard it is to make because I've never tried myself. But it's also just something I don't want to strive to try to make because it's just not something I want to drink.
Time, it seems. Well, yeah, straight 80. It doesn't taste horrible. I think the aroma is pretty bad. I think it's a bit bad. But the taste isn't bad. It tastes like a whatever pulpy pretty orange. Nice tasting pulpy cocktail-esque thing.
Yeah, I think cocktail is a
really pulpy cocktail. Yeah. So, yeah.
But I think, again, as I've said in every single video when I do one of these, a lot of people love this, and that's fine. A lot of you guys love it, that's fine. It's just not for us. But I hope this is not going to be one of those things where this is what people expect when they hear sour beer. Like, people now, when they hear IPA, it has to be hazy. You can't be bitter. Oh, I don't like bitter beer. And it's like one of these things that is, like, grinding my gears. Whereas, a great West Coast IPA is sometimes, for me, much better than, whatever run-of-the-mill haze that everyone's doing. I don't hope we're going to get to the same level in terms of sour beer production. Like, people would rather drink these than amazing barrel-aged wild ales. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. You never know, because look what happened with New England IPA. I love New England IPA when they're great. I've rated some of them amazingly high, but because of that, we're neglecting other styles. And broadly, you see rating of other styles in the IPA category dropping because people criticize it for not being hazy.
Criticizing for not being another style.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's like the food industry with Yelp.
Yeah.
Yelp came to beer, thanks Untapped.
Yeah.
You ruined it. No.
Yeah.
No. People were like that on Rate Beer and Beer Advocate too. It's just more... more people use it now, I guess, because it's quick and easy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a long fucking video. But now it's over. And now, I'm sorry, but we're probably not going to finish these because it's just not our cup of tea. And then we're going to get something that we know will be our cup of tea to finish on, because this would not be a perfect beer to finish on. And that being said, we need to give a final shout out to Beerjum, because Beerjum provided the beer. This seems like such a weird video to do where we shout out Beerjum. Beerjum is an amazing web shop. There's a great sponsor. They have all kinds of stuff. I just bought a few Rauch beers on the shop today with West Coast IPA that they just got fresh from Moonraker. They import loads of great stuff and sell great stuff. It's a great shop. But they sent this, and it's just not our cup of tea, so we can't help Rant. Because they also import stuff like this. They import stuff for everyone. So, but check them out. Link for the shop is down below. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And we're going to say cheers in Pastry, Smoothie, sour, and see you guys in the beer review.
Cheers.